start with a wedged ball of clay about size of a grapefruit. Between an orange and a grapefruit. You need a bucket of water and you need some tools. I usually have a needle tool, a wooden knife, some loop tools. Definitely you want to have a sponge, a small sponge, a wooden kidney, and you could have another kind of kidney if you wanted. Really, you don't need that one. If you just have the wooden one, you'd be good. Your wheel head does not need to be wet, okay? So a lot of people do this and they get this wet first. No, it doesn't need to be. It can be dry. In your notes, write down for wheel throwing that if you are right-handed, your wheel should be spinning counterclockwise. If you're right-handed. If you are left-handed, is anybody a lefty in here? Then you have a choice of either throwing right-handed, which a lot of people do, or all of these wheels can go in reverse, and then you would want it spinning clockwise. But all of my instructions are going to be right-handed, so if you're a lefty and you want to throw left-handed, then you just have to remember everything I'm saying to do with your right hand should be with your left, just switch everything around. Put my clay down firmly in the middle of the wheel head. Okay, I kind of can tap it to kind of squish it there. All right, the first subsection of notes should be about centering. Centering is like an essential step of the wheel. You can't not center your clay and expect to make anything. So centering is key. And under centering are a few steps. So what I want you to write down under centering is you're going to use the most speed for centering. So you go the fastest that you're going at any point when you center. So fast and most water. Okay, most speed, most water when you center. My position for centering is left hand, elbow planted in my hip or in my belly button. And then my right hand is going to be a sideways fist on top of the clay. And sometimes I grab my thumb when I'm doing this, so my hands are braced together. When you work on the wheel, you sometimes look like a hunchback. Like you have to be very tight and in close. Like don't ever do this on the wheel. I see people working on the wheel a lot like that. And then you lose control and it gets off center and it is all uneven and bad. Okay, so kind of everything in real tight. I am going to be using my left hand that is planted, right? My elbow is planted in my body. My left hand is going to be the part that pushes in on the clay to get it to center. Right now, see how it's really wobbly when it's spinning? That's not centered. So my left hand is going to push in. My right hand is going to stop that clay from going straight up. Because when I push in, the clay is going to want to go up. So I'm going to keep that shape with my right hand on the top. So sideways fist. I'm using this part of my right hand, this part of my left hand. Lots of water. First thing I do is push down because I want to make sure this is stuck to the wheel. So use your right hand and compress the clay down. So that's the first thing. And I just did that. That's it. That's all I needed to do. So make sure you write that down. Because if I don't do that step and I start pushing in, what do you think is going to happen to the clay maybe? Yeah, just the whole thing will come off the wheel. So we don't want that. We want it stuck to the wheel. So I compress the clay down. Now I'm going to plant that elbow again and lean in with my left hand. And my right hand's on the top, so I'm controlling that shape with this part of my right hand. And I lean in with my left to get the clay to look like there's no wobble as it's spinning. Any movement I do is going to be very, very slow. So just note that. That's important. That your hands never move quickly. As you're coming to the clay and coming away from the clay, you're doing that really slow. Because you can throw it back off center if you have everything in really good position. and then you pull away really fast, you're going to throw it off center. Okay, so see, now no wobble. So that's centered. All right, next step after centering. I did not push, by the way, when I was centering. I was not using any arm strength. All I was doing was had my elbow planted, and I just leaned in on the clay. So it was my body, just my body weight. Okay, so the top, I actually, see how it's kind of got a little bit of a crater on it? If you don't have that, you can make that by pushing in on the very top, straight down. Always make sure you have plenty of water. You don't ever want to feel the clay like pulling your hand. There should not ever be friction at all. So make sure there's always plenty of water or enough water. Once I've got that little crater,